Hey y'all, it's Melissa from The Little For the Kid. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I do mostly homeschool content, but mom life, allergy life, mom stuff mostly. So if you're interested in that, stick around, hit that red subscribe button. I'd love to get to know you. Today I am doing the second installment of my homeschooling high school series. So if you have a high schooler or you will have a high schooler soon, then stick around because we're going to talk about some high school stuff. Okay, so a few disclaimers right off the bat. Number one, I am by no means a homeschooling expert. Not even close. If you are new here, you should know that I taught in a traditional classroom for 17 years before pulling my kids out to homeschool them. And we have homeschooled for 2 years. And I'm about to have 2 freshmen next year. So not only am I not an expert at homeschooling, I am certainly not an expert at homeschooling high school because I've never done it. So my homeschooling high school series is more of a look at what I'm doing to prepare and how it's going and whatever, and it's like a real time account of homeschooling high school for my family. So hopefully you can learn from me either what to do if what I do works, or you can learn from me what not to do if what I'm doing does not work. So either way, if things go really well or really awful for us, I'm putting it on YouTube for you to watch and learn from. So hopefully it will be help to you. If you have already crossed this bridge and you are already homeschooling high schoolers, or you have already homeschooled high schoolers, I'd love for you to put feedback in the comments to save me from anything I might be planning to do that's terrible, or save any of my other watchers, my subscribers, from doing the same thing. Because trust me, I'm not an expert by any means. So I will link the first video up there for you to grab and watch if you missed it. And today I'm talking about record keeping and transcripts. So one more disclaimer before we get going. Please check your state's requirements for record keeping, because every state is different. And I will go ahead and tell you right up front, the state that we're in has basically 0 requirements for homeschoolers for record keeping. So everything that I do to keep records is for my own personal use, and because both of my soon-to-be high schoolers do plan to try to get into a college somewhere and are hoping for 4-year college degrees. So everything that I'm doing is based on my own research and my own need to keep very good records. That is just a personal choice of mine. My children would tell you that I'm OCD, and probably am. I guess I can admit it about some things. Okay, about a lot of things. So yeah, I'm pretty OCD, and so there are just a lot of things that I want to make sure I keep record of, if nothing else, for my own personal memory bank. And you know, this is the last 4 years I'm gonna have my kids at home, and so I think it's special, and it's time to cherish, and a time to remember, and I don't want to forget it. And so some of it is just because I want to be able to look back and remember fondly, or maybe not so fondly, how homeschooling high school went for my 2 oldest kids. But anyway, so keep that in mind as you're listening to what I'm saying in this video. Again, check your state's requirements, because some states I know have a lot more requirements than mine, because like I said, mine have virtually 0. Also, I would encourage you to check colleges and universities that you're interested in and sort of work backwards, which is what I did, because, different universities have different requirements as well. So it's just good to sort of, did you hear that? Some weird vehicle just drove down my street. Anyway, I don't even know what it was. It wasn't a car. It wasn't a four-wheeler. I don't know what that was. Anyway, that was weird. Like, I live in a neighborhood. I don't live, like, out in the country somewhere. Anyway, sorry. Squirrel. ADHD too. Anyway, that said, sorry, I'm rambling. I apologize. I did make notes, so I would hopefully not ramble, but some things you just... Anyway, there I go again. So that's my big disclaimer. Just check to make sure you're doing all you need to do for your own state. And, like if you're in a cover school, some covers have different requirements than others as well. So just make sure you check all that and you don't just take my word as like the gospel of what you have to do, because mine is not at all. So for record keeping, the past 2 years, I have been researching this because I knew that record keeping wasn't super important for us because we have no regulations in our state. Record keeping wasn't super important as far as like their future. And so I wanted to just experiment with different things in different ways and different products and different things and see what I liked. So I have literally tried everything. I tried keeping my records on paper, which I had been used to doing as a classroom teacher many moons ago before technology took over. And plus, I'm just a paper person. You can see like a lot of YouTubers like have notes on their phones or whatever, but I like paper. I have a paper planner. I've made my grocery list on a piece of paper, not in my phone. I'm just a paper person. I like to write them down on paper. So I tried that and it was nice, but it was not what I wanted. And so then I started trying like the online ones, like Homeschool Planet and My School Year, and I don't know, there's a million of them, aren't there? Have you looked into it? There's a million of them. And like none of them were terrible. Like they were all great, I guess, but none of them were they just weren't working for me. And so I happened to find another online solution that happens to be called Solution Point Learning, and it's called the Easy All-in-One Record Keeping Solution by Susan Hale, who she's a fellow homeschool mom in my community, and she created it. And it's basically an Excel product. Like it's an Excel. She just created it in Excel, and I'm pretty handy with Excel, and I could probably have come up with something similar myself. But you know what? Why reinvent the wheel? I felt like it was really affordable and it was already done for me, and it was perfect. Like I love it. It's exactly the things that I wanted to keep records for. And so that's what I used this past year. And to be honest, I didn't use it real consistently because like I said, I wasn't super worried about grades and records prior to high school. But I did use it and decided that I feel like this is going to be the system that's going to work the best for me personally. Rather than spending all the time to create my own. She did it and it's great. I think it's great. So that's what I'm doing to keep records. Starting next year, I really will be very specific and careful and what's the word I'm looking for? To include everything that I feel like we need in order for them to get in the universities that they're hoping to get into. So what it includes is monthly and academic year attendance, an easy score and grade calculator. It tracks up to 12 courses per student. You don't have to use all 12. So, you know, I don't know anybody who takes 12 classes in a year, but maybe your kids do. So if they do, then there's room for up to 12 or as few as you need. It generates quarterly, semester, and end of year scores and letter grades. It generates a report card with a weighted and unweighted GPA. Universities sometimes require one or the other. It offers a course summary report where you can reference any activities and special things you did for certain courses, curriculum you used, whatever, which sometimes is important for universities for homeschoolers. Some of them are pickier than others. Some of them want to know like exactly what curriculum you covered and like a scope and sequence and that kind of thing. They really want to know what your students learned. Others will just look at your transcript and that'll be enough. So it just kind of depends on the school. That's why I suggest working backwards if you can, if you have an idea where your kids might be interested in going. So it has a reading book report where you can keep track of all the books they've read throughout. It has an extracurricular activities report, which, as you know, is pretty important for most universities, so you can keep track of all that. And it does have a volunteer service hours report as well, so you can keep track of their volunteer service hours, which looks good on a college application as well. And so those are the things that it has. That's the things that I wanted to keep track of in high school. Again, this system is not meant for only high school. You can start using it when your kid's in kindergarten if you want to. It just depends on what you're looking for, but that's what the is included in the system. And all you need to do it is an Excel version 2007 or newer or higher. And then you have to have a PDF reader, but there's actually a free PDF reader, so that doesn't cost anything. And most computers, I feel like most computers, you get Microsoft Office now, so you'll have Excel anyway. And if you don't know of a free PDF reader, I'm pretty sure it comes with a link for you to download one if you buy this record keeping system. So important things to note about this record keeping system. Number one, no, this is not like sponsored. She doesn't even know I'm making this video. I paid full price for it. I don't get any discounts or kickbacks or anything if you get it. I literally am just sharing it with you because it is what I'm using and I really love it. So I'm not getting any sort of kickbacks at all from telling you about it. It covers all of your children with one purchase of the one program. So you could use it for one kid, you could use it for 15 kids, or however many kids you have, 25, I don't know. So you don't have to buy one per student. You get it once, it's yours. It does not include transcripts. So that might be a kicker for some of you. That didn't bother me because she also has a transcript program available, which I haven't purchased yet, but I do plan to now that I'm about to have high schoolers. So that is separate. However, I was okay with that because, like I said, I feel like it's very affordable. And then there are two purchase options. You can purchase it for 1 year at a time, or you can purchase like a lifetime edition, and basically every year she updates it with the next school year, so you'll have it forever. So like even if you have a kindergartner and you decided you want to start keeping track of all those things, you could get it now, you could get the lifetime one, and you've got it all the way through 12th grade for 13 years. You continue to get the updates. So I think that's a pretty good deal, especially if you're getting it when your kids are younger. And then if you're not, like if you are panicking because maybe you have a junior this year and you're like panicking, well then you can just buy this year or next year, and you can just keep track of those last 2 years, or you can just buy the transcript one, which covers your child's all 4 years, and you can just go back in, answer questions, plug in that information, and it automatically generates a transcript with weighted GPA, a transcript with an unweighted GPA, and a transcript that has both. You get all three that you can generate with the one program. So yeah, anyway, so that is what I'm going to be using to keep all of our records and to generate our transcripts when we get done with the end of this next 4 years. So I'm going to put a link in the description box below for you to check it out if you're interested. Sorry, I'm shaking the table and it's shaking my camera. If you're interested in it, you can go check it out. Again, I'm not getting anything in return for this. She doesn't even know I'm doing this video. So if she happens to see it, hey, Susan. So yeah, I'm not getting anything in return. I don't mind paying for the product. I think it's super affordable. It's a fellow homeschool mama. I love supporting homeschool mamas in their endeavors in their businesses because, you know, most of us homeschoolers are one-income families, and that can be a struggle. And so I love supporting a homeschool mama when I can. So she is a homeschool mama. She's been homeschooling a long time, and she has gotten it all down to a science and then created this program. And so I think it's awesome. So that's what I'm going to be using for my record keeping and my transcripts. Now, portfolios are something that I probably will do also. I know some states require them. Mine does not. However, just because I want all my bases covered, I think I'm probably going to make portfolios for my kids just that include samples of their work in all their subjects for the 4 years, just in case we get any kickback about being homeschoolers and like, did you really teach them this? Did they really take this class? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I worry about that a little bit, especially because we're in a state that has no requirements. And I don't like to say controversial things on my channel, but I'm just going to say it, I guess. I'll try to say it nicely. I feel like in states like mine, where there aren't a lot of requirements for homeschoolers, that sometimes there are cases, not very many, mind you, not very many, but there are cases where homeschoolers aren't really homeschooled, if you catch my drift. And I just want to be sure that nobody ever accuses me of that. And so I'm probably going to keep portfolios. Actually, I do. I already do. I've been doing that since we started homeschooling, just because I didn't want any kickback from anyone, anytime, ever about, am I, really teaching my children what I say I'm teaching my children? I want it to be very clear. I want to have proof and evidence that, yes, I am teaching my children everything that they're supposed to learn, and everything that I claim I'm teaching them, I really am teaching them. I just didn't want there to be any questions about that. And they're doing the work anyway, right? They're doing it. So it doesn't take me a lot of extra time or effort to take samples of that work and pop it in a 3-ring binder, and bam, I've got proof that yes, in fact, we have done all these things, and yes, my children can write, and yes, they can, do this and that, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm paranoid. Maybe that's excessive. I don't keep a lot of stuff, but I do keep a sampling of work in all their subjects, just because I don't ever want to be questioned about it. I'm also in a divorce situation, and my ex-husband is great with, obviously he was in on the decision to start homeschooling them. And so I'm not worried about him at all, because he's totally on board, thinks it was a great decision, and is really pleased that I'm homeschooling them. So it's not about him and I not agreeing or anything like that, but I just wanted to be safe and make sure that nobody could ever accuse me of not teaching my children the things that they need to learn. So I am not accusing anybody of that, but I know that there are stories floating around of that happening and DHR getting involved in things like that, and I just wanted to be totally sure that that could never happen to us. So that is one of the reasons why I keep records, even though I am not legally required to in my state. That may not be an issue for you because you might be in a state where you're required to anyway. So anyway, to each their own, I guess. Follow the rules in your states, the rules and requirements and laws in your state, and you'll be fine. Or do extra like I do if you want to, and you'll be fine. Or don't do extra if you don't want to, and I'm sure you'll still be fine. I tend to go overboard kind of all the time. What is it that one of my best friends told me the other day? I'm extra. I think she meant it in a nice way. She was like, we gotta reel you in, Melissa. Sorry. It's just how God made me. It's okay. So anyway, that is the story of record keeping and transcripts. I'd love to hear what you're doing in the comments below, or if you check it out and you check out the Easy All-in-One record keeping solution, the link that I put below. I'd love to hear what you think about it. And let me know too what else you want to hear about as far as homeschooling high school. And I hope I didn't talk too long and ramble too much. Anyway, homeschooling high school. It's a little scary, but we're going to do it, right? Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.